Well, young women and men, some struggling to pay bills, others looking to launch a career or turning to a social media site in droves.
ModelMayhem.com is not new. In fact, it's got more than 760,000 active users. Hundreds of those are in Jefferson City, Columbia, and across mid-Missouri.
But the website that promises to connect aspiring models with people who can help rocket them to fame is now being investigated for its role in the disappearance, rape, and trafficking of more than 12 women across the country.
And when ABC 17's Evan Millward brought the cases to local law enforcement's attention, they'd never even seen the site.
Yeah, well, it turns out Model Mayhem isn't on the radar of some investigators, and it's certainly not the only website being accused of fostering phony and dangerous relationships. We've seen it with Craigslist and even Facebook, but there is something inherently vulnerable about setting up a photo shoot sight unseen. A camera captures a moment, an instant, a thought, a person or place we want to be.
Doing a senior photo, and I was talking about how I really like taking photos, and I'm like, yeah, it's really fun. I don't really care if I make money. I want it to be a hobby. And I think my photographer mentioned it. He's like, you should try Model Mayhem.
And with just a few keystrokes, Kristen Beyer was fielding offers from local photographers on Model Mayhem. It didn't take long to realize she was getting more than she bargained for.
Yep, this one's gross. I've had like hundreds of messages come and go. Mostly are like, oh, we want you to do nude. We want you to do lingerie.
It's really an easy trick, an easy trap, and you don't even have to be a professional. You don't have to know how to use the camera. If you have it in your sweet talker, you can. It's easy to fall for it. And these girls are, they're in an industry where, the further you push your boundaries, the more successful you are, seemingly.
Carl Neitzert remembers when Model Mayhem launched years ago. He was the ideal guy for the site to attract an up-and-coming photographer trying to find his footing.
I never joined Model Mayhem because it wasn't professional enough, and that was even back when I was not necessarily rolling in the dough. I wasn't exactly a full-time professional yet anyways, but I could not see how I could potentially make money on it.
For many of the aspiring models and photographers, especially in a college town, money is what it's all about.
They try to like manipulate you, like we know you're a student, we know you're poor, you know? And so they're like, we'll pay you $500 for one nude photo. That's all we're asking is one nude photo. But it only takes one nude photo for you to be completely all over the internet and completely exposed to everybody in the world.
Model Mayhem has a dangerous history.
And, like, these girls are beautiful, and they feel like they have to do this.
The National Women's Coalition Against Violence and Exploitation says it can connect a dozen missing girls nationwide to the website. One of them, Cara Nichols from Colorado Springs. She's been missing since last October when she told a friend she was heading 2 hours north to Denver for a modeling gig. Her family tells our sister station in the Springs they believe she may be a victim of a human trafficking scheme.
Well, we've been told from the beginning that they suspect that she's come to foul play, both because of her issues with drugs and the link to prostitution.
Trafficking and rape are at the heart of a federal lawsuit against the site's owners, Internet Brands. A woman says she was drugged, raped, and trafficked during a supposed photo shoot set up through Model Mayhem. She says the site should have warned users about the dangers. A California judge threw the suit out in August, saying the site can't be responsible for what third parties do, but an appeal is working its way through California courts now. What do you think about when you hear that?
I totally see it. Like, I'm not shocked. That is not art. That is not photography. That is a pervert trying to get perverted pictures and have a naked girl in the room with him at once. That is not art. That's not photography. So that's what turns me off about it.
So if it's a site where you're seeking modeling career or employment or dating or any of those kind of sites, that use special precautions if you're going to meet someone.
Detective Andy Anderson with the Boone County Sheriff's Cybercrimes Task Force hadn't come across the site until I showed it to him, but he says it reminds him of popular problem sites like Craigslist, even Facebook.
So I think on all of these sites, what we have to be, whoever's using, what they have to be careful of is number one, be mindful of everything that you post on the site. Anybody else has access to, anybody else can download. But I think the number one thing is if you're going to meet, if you're going to do anything, take people with you, public places, don't send out pictures.
We all started out having never taken a picture before. So I can't say that no photographer that isn't successful is legitimate, but I'd say insist on it being public.
Carl Neitzert doesn't have to worry about struggling anymore. He's now the primary photographer at Creative Photo in Columbia.
Model Mayhem is not out to make you rich. They're out to make themselves rich by getting you to click on their banners and their advertisement links.
Kristen Beyer isn't looking to get rich,
This is like a hobby of mine. Like some old ladies knit, I like to take photography.
but her safe sense on Model Mayhem has brought her success.
I do everything in like my possible mind to get to know them as much as possible before I go alone with them.
Now she has photographer friends, ones she trusts,
These are all legit people trying to get more experience.
to capture that moment, that place, that person she wants to be. Model Mayhem's owners tell me they always cooperate when the police ask for it. In a statement from Internet Brands, a spokesman says, quote, Model Mayhem strongly believes that safety should be top of mind when doing anything online. Because there are scams on the internet, Model Mayhem tries to educate users about scams and how to avoid them. The site offers detailed safety advice to help members understand what to look for when they're contacted by others. That advice is located in the site's forums section. Another safety precaution, Model Mayhem requires 3 professional-style photos before your profile can be activated. Back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Evan. Internet Brands tells us it has a contact a moderator button on each page to report suspicious activity or abuse.
We also checked Model Mayhem has an F rating from the Better Business Bureau.